So my they're not closest friends, but I have two friends that I call by their initials. And these guys, I call one of them TGM, the other one FDR. And they're good friends of mine. Hey, come on in. And so what do these guys have in common? They're good friends. I mean, they're friends of mine. I'm friendly with both of them. And one of them is TGM, the other one is FDR. What do these two have in common? They're presidents. They're presidents. So TGM is the president of Czechoslovakia, and FDR is the president of the United States. Which of them is my president? Roosevelt, right? They pronounce it Roosevelt because it's a Dutch name. It's a long story. But some people pronounce it Roosevelt, most people pronounce it Roosevelt. But Roosevelt is my president because I'm an American citizen, right? Was I born in the United States? Can I become the president? Can I become president? No, I cannot because I wasn't born in this country. I was born which was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, because I was born in 1870. So there was no Czechoslovakia back then. There was, the area is called Bohemia, right? The region is Bohemia. But the country or the empire was the Austro-Hungarian Empire. All right, so how old was I when I arrived in the United States? 1 year old. So my parents took me to the United States, and we settled down but near Chicago. We settled down in Illinois, which is the state where Chicago is. What did my dad do for a living? He was a miner, right? He was a miner in Kladno, and because everybody was, right, in Kladno. And he continued being a miner in Illinois because there were a lot of mines there. Did I mine? I did, actually. I did mine for a while, and then when I was 17, I think, I moved to Chicago, and what did I do there? I did everything. I was a street vendor for a while. I made deliveries to people, to businesses, right? How did I make deliveries? What tool did I use? A push cart. I had a push cart. And that's something that came back to haunt me later because somebody used that to make give me a nickname. So, and at some point in my life, I got involved in politics. Am I a good politician? I'm an amazing politician. I'm not to pat myself on the back, but I'm an amazing politician. So what does a good politician need? What kind of skills do you need? Leader, right. You need leadership skills. You need to be a good leader. What does a good leader do? What's the one word that, it's not in the story, but what a good leader does is he or she inspires people, right? You have to be an inspiration to people. You have to have people follow you. So when you say something, you have to make people think and realize, oh my God, he's right. I want to do the same thing. I'm behind this guy 100%. So I do have leadership skills. What other skills do I have? I'm a very good deal maker. I'm a natural born deal maker, right? I'm somebody who makes deals. Now this sounds like something that everybody knows how to do, right? Like making deals, that's easy. It's the hardest thing there is. Because what does making deals involve? That you disagree with. That's the most. You don't make deals with your friends because you don't have to make deals with people you agree with. You have to make deals with people who disagree with you, people who hate your guts. But you have to make a deal because it's for, to make things better, you have to make deals. And most people cannot do that. Like most of us, probably when we talk to somebody who hates us or disagrees with us, we have a hard time finding a middle ground, right? But a good politician has to be able to get over himself and not be vain. Yeshitni, that's a good word. Or petty. You can't be vain or petty. You have to be able to get over yourself. So I can do that. I'm really good at this. I can get things done. I know how to get things done. When my constituents, my people ask me to get something done, I can do that. I can make that happen. Am I a generous person? I can be. I'm a generous person by nature, but as a politician, I know that there are times when I have to be strict or ruthless. Not cruel, but ruthless. And play hardball. Sometimes you have to play hardball and not to pull any punches. All right. Okay. So the year is, let's say, 1932. What do I do now? What's my job now?
You're dead?
Not yet. I'll be soon. Not yet. I'm the mayor of Chicago. How long have I been mayor? A year, right? So 1931, we had an election for mayor. Was that the first time I ran for office? It probably, yeah, I think it was. And I ran against this guy whose name is Thompson. What kind of a person is he? He's not a mobster technically. He's technically not part of the mob, but he is in the pocket of the mob, right? He's on their payroll, basically. So he's very corrupt, right? And people bribe him left and right. And so we're running against each other for mayor. Is he nice to me? No, he's extremely rude and nasty and mean. He actually, in fact, he gave me a nickname, which was Pushkar Tony. So that's what he called me. Like, he learned some facts about me. One of them was that I used to push a pushcart around Chicago. He's like, hey, Pushkar Tony, that bohung. I'm not going to lose to him. So he said all those nasty things about me being an immigrant, not being born in the United States, not being a real American. Did that win him the election? No. In fact, it backfired, because it turned out that most of Chicagoans are immigrants or recent immigrants, and they could relate to me, right? So when he attacked me, they were like, I know exactly, how that guy feels. I'm just like him. I came here too from Europe. So I ended up getting elected mayor in a landslide. I won big. And so I've been a mayor for a year. What's the biggest problem that Chicago was facing in all that time? Money, lack of finances. And then in a lucky in a lucky something, I don't know, then something happened that helped me a lot, which was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who happens to be a friend of mine, was elected U.S. president, right? And he promised to help me with finances, because Chicago was running out of money. So how much longer do I have to live? A year, just a year, maybe slightly more, slightly less. Where am I going to die? Miami, in Florida. How am I going to die? I'm going to be shot. Do I know the guy? No. He's an Italian immigrant who, it turns out later, I'll be dead, so I won't find out. But it will turn out later that this guy just hates everybody. Like, he hates politicians. And there will be an interview with him where he says, basically, I have nothing against Roosevelt or Cermak. They're nice guys probably, but I hate politicians. I hate people who run this world. And so I had to shoot some of them. So, all right. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to get shot. So how is the Czech community going to feel about my assassination? They will be devastated, stunned, crushed, because me being elected mayor was an enormous achievement in terms of, the Czech community, because a foreign-born person hardly ever gets elected to office in the United States. So they were really proud of me, and now they were devastated. So how are they going to honor me? Name this street, not just any old street. This one it's a long ass street. It's going to be called Cermak Road, and it's a thoroughfare. It's the main thoroughfare. It's one of the main thoroughfares in Chicago. It's almost 20 miles long. So yeah, that's really nice. And also, a few years down the road, Chicago is going to build a subway system, right? And one of the stations that they're going to build is going to be named after me too. It'll be called Cermak Chinatown, because it's going to be in Chinatown. So all of that, really good. I'm a miner's son from Kladno who made good. So yippee, good for me, I guess. All right. We did it. Well, you did it. You've been great, obviously. You're always great. I don't know. I mean, you may feel a little differently about how exactly great you've been. You have been great. Trust me. So I don't know if you plan to be back in the fall. Obviously, I'd love it if you did. I'll be back. But you know how it is with plans. There's this saying about plans that's kind of spot on, which is if you want to make God laugh, tell him about your plans, right? That's a really good saying, because once you start making assumptions, making plans, and predicting your future based on those plans, you're screwed, because they're not going to happen. Because plans have a way of blowing up in your face, right? It's just what they do, being plans and all. Ever heard of Lupe Velez? No, it's Lupe, actually. Lupe Velez. That name over there. Lupe Velez was a Hollywood movie star in the 1930s. Long time ago, 80 years ago, 90 years ago. She starred in a couple of movies, and then her career just went off the rails. And directors lost interest in her. No one wanted to work with her. She was a bit of a handful. She could be difficult. She was bipolar. So she was crushed. She was devastated because Lupe always dreamed of becoming a legend, of becoming immortal, right? Somebody that people talk about, hundreds of years after they're gone. And at the same time, she became pregnant, and the father of the baby wanted nothing to do with the baby or with Lupe. So things weren't going Lupe's way at that point, and so she decided to take one last shot at immortality. She figured if she couldn't be remembered for her movie, she'd be remembered for the way she died. And all that Lupe ever wanted was to be remembered, okay, no matter for what, it didn't matter. So she plans this spectacular suicide, right? Candles, flowers, silk sheets, white gown, full hair and makeup, the works. And so she plans this, she sets it all up, she takes an overdose of pills, and she lays down on the bed. And she imagines how beautiful she's going to look when they find her. And they take her picture and put it in the newspapers, right? And everybody's going to look at her and say, what a shame. Maybe we killed her, the audience. So she's lying on the bed, and she just made one little mistake. Just before she took the overdose of pills, she ate a huge plate of enchilada, which is this spicy Mexican food. And it turns out that enchilada and the pills don't sit well together. They don't really mix. So she's lying on the bed, about to die finally. And then she hears these disturbing sounds coming from her belly. And she rolls off the bed, she stumbles into the bathroom, she trips, and she goes head first into the toilet. And that's how they found her. So much for plans, huh? Anyway, thanks for being such wonderful students these past few months. I hope you all have a nice summer, and I hope to see you again in the fall. Thank you.